Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward.
Chapter 1. In Japan, on Mount Ozuri in Aomori, the snow is exceptionally bright on a winter night. A boy in blue stepped into the snow, leaving a series of regular footprints. He looked up at the sky. The moonlight reflected off the snow was exceptionally bright, and dappled moonlight was scattered around the dilapidated eaves of the roadside houses. Sigh. The boy sighed. I've been in this ghost world for 3 years now, and it seems there's only one way to get back. This young man is Zhu Chen. He was originally an unknown programmer on the planet Aquamarine, but unexpectedly, he transmigrated and came to the world of Shaman King. It wouldn't be wrong to call this a ghost world. In the Shaman King world, ghosts and monsters roam freely. Zhu Chen, by chance, also awakened his psychic abilities. As an ordinary person, he was subjected to a painful torment every day when he opened his eyes to all sorts of ghosts and spirits. Fortunately, during his journey, perhaps due to a deviation in the space-time tunnel, a powerful spirit happened to be drawn into Zhu Chen's body. The spirit, impressed by Zhu Chen's powerful psychic abilities, became Zhu Chen's guardian spirit. Boy! You are qualified to be the king of this world. So, be my son. Roll. This spirit is called Newgate, nicknamed Whitebeard. He has a peculiar habit. He likes to ask people to be his son. Zhu Chen complains about this endlessly, saying that such behavior would get him beaten to death on Water Blue Star. Initially, Whitebeard really wanted Zhu Chen to be his son, but unfortunately Zhu Chen didn't have the habit of being someone else's son. Furthermore, since spirits cannot use the power they possessed in life, Whitebeard, under Zhu Chen's tyranny, became a spirit possessor. With Newgate by his side, Zhu Chen gradually integrated into this psychic world, gained the ability to protect himself, and gradually became stronger. What kind of place is planet Water Blue? Whitebeard would sometimes ask curiously. He was naturally adventurous and came into this world full of passion, unlike Zhu Chen, who was a lazy bum and only thought about getting back as soon as possible. Zhu Chen glanced at the Whitebeard floating above his head, said nothing, and silently spat out a mouthful of his drink. They are not from the same world, their worldviews are completely different. Some emotions are impossible to empathize with. Whitebeard wasn't a Hyuxia from the blue planet, so of course he couldn't understand what it meant to be reluctant to leave one's homeland. If I could go back, I would give up everything I have now. But as he explored the world, he discovered that there might only be one way to go back. In the world of psychic beings, the Shaman King can communicate with the King of Spirits and possesses omniscience and omnipotence. Only when he becomes the Shaman King will he have the ability to open the time tunnel and return to his original planet, Water Blue. For a moment, Zhu Chen felt a pang of emotion. Becoming the Shaman King was no easy feat. There's not much he can do now except develop his own magical power, enhance the spirit he possesses, and then he can only wait. The Tokyo Shaman King Tournament is now in its final countdown. In these 3 years, Zhu Chen did learn something, though. Aside from his training as a psychic, he has at least gotten used to life in Japan and is able to make sushi taste like mapo tofu. Zhu Chen paced forward, unsure of his destination. The heavy snow continued to fall, landing on my thin clothes. Fortunately, with the possession of the spirit, the power of the witch was enhanced and the physique was greatly improved, so the severe cold was not a problem. A girl wearing a light yellow, thin kimono walked across the snow. She was beautiful, had fair skin, long legs, and a pink headband. Zhu Chen's eyes widened in surprise. Don't misunderstand, he wasn't looking at the young lady, he was just surprised that someone else was dressed more lightly than him. It's still snowing now. Aren't you cold wearing such a thin kimono? It's quite common to see girls in Japan wearing such thin kimonos, but it's not so common this time of year. The girl had a cold expression, her brows slightly furrowed, revealing a faint hint of anxiety. He seemed to be in a hurry and walked by quickly. She exuded an aura that kept strangers at bay, and her eyes revealed a sense of world weariness. Just looking at her made people feel that the temperature around them dropped several degrees, and they dared not approach her. What a cold and aloof woman! Zhu Chen thought to himself, but he didn't pay too much attention to it. However, looking at this girl, he felt quite familiar with her. It wasn't that he wanted to strike up a conversation, but he genuinely felt as if he had seen her somewhere before. Right, it's Anna, the most popular woman in the Shaman King world. Zhu Chen looked at the familiar headband on the woman's head and suddenly remembered. However, this is Mount Ozari, so it's quite reasonable to encounter her here. When he passed by Mount Ozari, perhaps he had a thought in mind, to have a chance encounter with the heroine of this world. It seems that he was not disappointed. Anna-Kyoyama's aloof temperament, coupled with her stunning beauty and slightly arrogant personality, makes her a worthy candidate for the most popular character in the anime series from her previous life. Zhu Chen thought to himself, but he didn't expect any further developments. He had only come here for a chance encounter. Anna walked past him expressionlessly, as if she were a stranger. She glanced at Zhu Chen, her eyes filled with cold indifference and cynicism. Get away, not here. Zhu Chen frowned. He was just passing by. Why should he care if he was just passing by? Anna ignored him, frowned, and continued walking away. Behind the snow, the faint resentment of the lingering soul gradually coalesced and lingered for a long time. Snowflakes danced by, and the snowy night suddenly grew even colder. Zhu Chen frowned slightly and looked behind him. He sensed a sinister, ghostly aura that gradually intensified. Behind him was a river, and he suddenly stared at it with wide eyes. In winter, where the river is not frozen, the water should flow gently and silently, but at this moment it becomes somewhat rapid, as if something is about to emerge. Anna walked to a corner, where the lamplight obscured her stunning beauty, making it difficult to see clearly. She stared indifferently at the river, her bright eyes unwavering, her pale golden hair swaying gently with her hair ribbon, and a faint, almost imperceptible, magical power emanating from her. The ghost is here again. A pale blue, grotesque-looking ghost gradually materialized on the river. It crawled out of the river, staring with its huge eyes, and roared silently at Zhu Chen. Zhu Chen frowned more and more. The more terrifying a ghost looks, the more torment it suffered in its previous life. The more lingering obsession it retains after death, the more powerful it becomes as a ghost if the obsession is not eliminated. The blue monster before them had no intact parts, one of its eyes had fallen out, and bloodstains remained on its hideous fangs. The ghost's body was filled with savage resentment, making it far more powerful than any of the minor ghosts Zhu Chen had encountered before. Roar! The ghost roared silently, but Zhu Chen, with his extraordinary sorcery, could hear it clearly. He had been targeted by the ghost and was charging towards him. Chapter 2. Roar! The ghost charged forward, a sonic boom erupting from it, causing Zhu Chen's messy bangs to flutter. Ugh, what a nuisance to encounter these troublesome monsters again. A lazy voice came from behind. Zhu Chen turned his head and saw a man in a white trench coat walking over. Beneath his droopy eyelids were a pair of lifeless eyes, and he was wearing headphones with music faintly emanating from them. As soon as the man in the trench coat appeared, the ghost immediately changed its target and rushed towards him. Zhu Chen smiled slightly. He recognized the man as Yoh Asakura, the protagonist of the Shaman King world. I wonder if Asakura Yoh has obtained the spirit Amitabha pill yet. Zhu Chen wondered to himself. Without Amidamaru, Asakura Yoh would probably not be a match for the demons. In the world of Shaman King, shamans can connect with people in both the living and the dead realms. They guide themselves into a state of ethereal awareness, thereby communicating directly with gods, spirits, and the spirits of the dead. These deities can use their power to cure diseases, wield force, or control politics, and exert power that is beyond human reach at will. Spiritual mediums have existed all over the world since ancient times. However, most of their strength can only be unleashed by possessing a spirit. Here we go again. Asakura Yoh's face was filled with panic. Seeing the ghost chasing after him, he immediately turned and ran away. Anna and Zhu Chen, watching from the corner, couldn't help but be exasperated by his practiced escape technique. It seems that Yoh Asakura has not yet obtained the spirit Amidamaru, Zhu Chen thought to himself. As a weak shaman who doesn't possess any spirits, Yoh Asakura is quite unlucky. Because of their magical powers, psychics are a great tonic for evil spirits or elves. Therefore, they are very likely to be attacked by the undead, just like Yoh Asakura at this moment. When Zhu Chen first failed to subdue Whitebeard as his spirit, he suffered just as much. Fortunately, he pulled through, while Yoh Asakura is still struggling. However, this ghost seems to be different from the wandering ghosts. In a corner unseen by them, Anna couldn't help but rub her forehead, a hint of disappointment showing in her cool eyes. So this is Yoh Asakura? He really is repulsive. She knew her master Kano's intentions, and at this moment, she couldn't help but feel that Asakura Yoh was hopelessly useless. Anna was greatly disappointed by Yoh Asakura's performance. Although it's unclear how Yoh Asakura overcame this crisis in the main storyline, Zhu Chen decided to lend a helping hand. Whitebeard Newgate, Soul Mode, he shouted, his right hand clenching in the air, and Whitebeard's spirit appeared. Then it suddenly shrank, transforming into a rather cute little fireball, with a crescent-shaped mustache gleaming silver above it. You brat! Don't turn me into this form, it's too embarrassing. The cute little round ball with a white beard cursed loudly, his emotions running high. Zhu Chen lifted the white-bearded single-sphere spirit body and then pressed it heavily against his chest, shouting, "Possession and fusion!" A blinding white light flashed, and instantly, a powerful aura emanated from Zhu Chen. Under the invisible power fluctuations, even the drifting snowflakes were easily repelled. Anna, who was in the corner, narrowed her eyes. She felt a chill run down her spine from Zhu Chen's spirit possession. It was a feeling that made one want to submit, a look of panic crossed her face, and she lost her former calm and composed demeanor. What exactly is this guy's spirit? Whitebeard? There seems to be no record of it at all. Anna is a witch, and she can easily summon countless spirits, a unique ability of witches. But now she seems to be cursed, with all sorts of spirits and ghosts inexplicably appearing around her. In Anna's mind, there was no powerful spirit called Whitebeard. This puzzled her greatly. The fluctuations of witch power emanating from Zhu Chen were enough to prove the strength of the spirit possessed by the white-bearded man. How could she not find any records about the white-bearded man? After Zhu Chen merged with the Whitebeard, an aura of dominance over the world arose spontaneously. He glared at the ghost, which felt as if it had fallen into an ice cellar. Even though it was a being formed from resentment and hatred, it still felt a chill that penetrated to the bone. The ghost dared not move and froze in place. A psychic, Asakura Yoh also sensed the fluctuations of shamanic power and turned around to stare blankly at Zhu Chen. I am a remnant of the times, and there is no ship in the new world that can carry me. Zhu Chen laughed loudly, took a domineering step forward, and the sound waves caused the flying snow to become disordered. The ghost trembled, but dared not move. Anna Koyama frowned deeply. She knew Zhu Chen, but she never expected that Zhu Chen would possess such a terrifying spirit. On the contrary, Yoh Asakura was not affected by Whitebeard's domineering aura and looked at Zhu Chen with a look of surprise and admiration. Zhu Chen slowly raised his right hand and threw a punch. Bang! Instantly, the air around him, filled with endless snowflakes, seemed to freeze. After the punch was thrown, the space that was frozen like an ice surface began to shatter. Ah! The ghost let out a miserable scream, and he was frozen inside the space along with it. After the space shattered, the ghosts also broke apart and disappeared. The snowflakes returned to calm and drifted down slowly. Zhu Chen finished the last sip of his drink, casually tossed the can into a nearby trash can in a parabolic arc. He patted the snow off his body, which was no longer there, turned and left, leaving Asakura, Yoh and Anna stunned. Amazing! Yoh Asakura looked at the ground in front of him, which looked like it had been bombed, and the air that had returned to calm. His face was blank with shock, he had never seen such a powerful psychic before. Anna watched Zhu Chen leave with a mixture of emotions, and she could almost hear a few curses and swears coming from their argument. You ungrateful brat! You use me and then throw me away. Can't you let this old man play outside a little longer? Do you think you can come out without using witchcraft? You want to borrow my power, but you're not willing to give up even a little bit of your magical energy? What a cunning brat! Shut up! Anna Koyama frowned, just who is this guy? This psychic is probably about as strong as Yewang back then. A faint, short shadow appeared beside Asakura Yoh, resembling a spotted cat with two tails. Matsugumi, you're here too. Didn't you see? That psychic is amazing. Ghosts can't even withstand a single punch from him. Yoh Asakura shouted excitedly when he saw Mikoto. Yes, I saw it. I need to go back and report to Monica as soon as possible. Nikomata glanced at the shadowy corner, seemingly unconcerned. The two figures disappeared into the distance, leaving Anna deep in thought in the corner. Chapter 3 Aomori Prefecture, in northern Honshu, Japan. The dilapidated, colorful ruins stretched as far as the eye could see, with a few flickering will-o'-the-wisps reflecting the starry sky above. The weather in Aomori was quite sunny, but the wind was still howling at night. A wooden hut came into view, with a plaque hanging under the eaves that read Miko Shrine. Inside the house, a witch wearing sunglasses was worshipping a shikigami. Her face was calm and serious, and she was holding a string of black prayer beads in her hand, chanting incantations. The lights flickered, and the witch frowned slightly, sensing that something had returned. Guzong, you're back so soon, the witch asked in a low voice. A short figure emerged from beside the lamplight, or rather, it wasn't a human, but an old cat demon. The cat demon's expression was serious, carrying a heavy tone. Munai-san, there have been some unexpected changes at this meeting. This witch was Yoh Asakura's grandmother, Kino Asakura. Sunglasses concealed Kino Asakura's eyes, making them appear empty and mysterious. Her deep voice continued, "What's changed?" Cat Master found a stool and sat down. This long journey had left him feeling a bit unwell. If he could, he would like to be a lazy cat like he was 1,000 years ago. Miss Anna saw Brother Ye, but Brother Ye didn't see Miss Anna. Furthermore, Miss Anna seems to possess a strange and mysterious power. Cat Master calmly recounted the story, remaining composed despite his inner shock. Oh? Anna, she really carries too much on her shoulders. Hatred, resentment, and extreme fear constantly haunt her. Even I, an old woman, feel sorry for her. Too many negative emotions will easily attract ghosts, but even if something unexpected happens, with the help of a sect, it shouldn't be worth mentioning. Munai-san, please don't be impatient. Guzong took out his pipe, took a deep drag, and then continued. A mere brat is indeed insignificant, but a mysterious psychic appeared along the way and helped yet. The witchcraft power within him is extremely terrifying. In fact, he annihilated the ghost with just one punch, and shattered a lot of the ground of Mount Azaria. Oh! It was clear that Kino Asakura's tone had become much more serious. Cat Demon continued to exhale a puff of smoke, his eyes filled with sharpness. In my humble opinion, this mysterious psychic's strength is probably comparable to that of my former master. The scariest thing is that he looks almost the same age as Yet. The same age as Yoh, yet possessing the power of the legendary Onmyoji, How Asakura? Guzong, are you sure you're not mistaken? A hint of doubt crept into Kino Asakura's tone. After all, what the cat god said was too absurd. Cat Sect Master shook his head, his pupils changing slightly. What I say is certainly true, and it's not just what I saw, Miss Anna and Brother Yet also witnessed it with their own eyes. Brother Yet is waiting next door, and Monica can ask him for confirmation. Upon seeing that Nikomata was not joking, Asakura Kino opened her mouth in shock. Although he couldn't see his gaze behind his sunglasses, Nekatago could still feel the sharp and aggressive look in his eyes. The same age as Kazuha, could it be King Ha? The how she was referring to this time was not How Asakura from 1,000 years ago, but his reincarnation, How Asakura's twin brother, How Asakura. Cat Demon Sect frowned, then slowly shook his head. In my humble opinion, it shouldn't be king yet. The witch power within Yewang is filled with evil, a power that devours people's hearts. But that mysterious psychic was different, it possessed a kind of balanced and peaceful yet incredibly domineering magical power. Moreover, he doesn't look like Yet at all. A person's appearance may be disguised, but the attributes of witch power cannot be concealed. It seems that he is indeed not Yewang. Kino Asakura's pale hair fluttered and danced under the influence of the witch's power, indicating that her state of mind was far from as calm as it appeared on the surface. We must find this mysterious person. If we have his help, perhaps Yi's burden can be lightened a bit. From the moment this child was born, he carried a burden heavy enough to overwhelm and suffocate a person. It was precisely because of this pressure that he appeared carefree, but beneath his sunny exterior lay an extremely lonely heart. Yi's state of mind is something that others cannot truly understand. Nikomata nodded. He was quite familiar with Asakura Yoh. He originally wanted to go to Asamori Mountain with Yoh to meet his chosen fiancée, Anna. However, it seems they messed up. The appearance of the mysterious psychic meant that Yoh Asakura didn't even have a chance to show his bravery, he was only shown running away. After that, no matter how well Yoh Asakura performs, it will probably be difficult for him to leave a good impression on Miss Anna. After all, first impressions are still very important. Cat and Stockmaster no longer wanted to think about such complicated emotional matters. By the way, when I arrived, Miss Anna was hiding to the side, silently watching the battle. Perhaps Miss Anna knows that mysterious psychic. Anna probably doesn't know her, I've never heard her mention her, Kino Asakura said definitively. I don't know about that. Miss Anna seems to have stayed on the street and didn't come back with me. Kino Asakura's expression remained unchanged, and with her sunglasses concealing her thoughts, no one could discern her true feelings. Master Gu has worked hard this time. Please take care of Yair in secret. He carries the mission of the future of all mankind, and there must be no mistakes. Nikotaguchi nodded hurriedly, I understand. Please rest assured, Monica-san, if necessary, I am willing to give up this body to ensure young Master Yi's safety. In that case, thank you very much, Master Gu. Munai-san, you're too kind. I'll take my leave now. The cat left the shrine, but instead of going back to sleep, it went to the room where Ye was. It had some things to tell Ye. Kino Asakura was left alone, silently staring at the smoke used in the ritual, her expression shifting unpredictably. A mysterious psychic, about the same age as Ye, with strength comparable to a great onmyoji. Since he rescued Ye from the ghost, he probably has no hatred towards Ye. No matter what, this powerful psychic must be used by my Asakura family, at all costs. If necessary, Anna can be sacrificed. After finishing the ritual, Kanamai Asakura extinguished the lights and groped her way back to her dwelling. As people get older, their energy and spirit begin to decline, and staying up late is the enemy of the elderly. Today, Asakura Kino has already made an exception in order to wait for Nikomata Mune's news. However, after hearing about the mysterious psychic, she was filled with worry and shock and couldn't sleep. Chapter 4. When the snow stopped in Aomori, among those who couldn't sleep in the dead of night, besides Kino Asakura, there was also Anna. This girl isn't human, she's a monster. That's right. She knows what we're all thinking, she's definitely possessed by a ghost. We need to get rid of her quickly. I only spoke a few words to her before I encountered a ghost. Keeping a girl possessed by a ghost in the village will only bring disaster to everyone. Anna huddled alone in a small hut somewhere in Azarayama, and couldn't help but recall the past. After awakening her spiritual vision ability, she was regarded as a monster and abandoned in Azarayama. Therefore, her personality has always been aloof and sensitive. Mount Azari is a place teeming with ghosts. It's a miracle that a little girl who was abandoned could survive in such a place. Later, Anna was favored by Yoh Asakura and taken as her disciple, and only then did she begin to practice the magic of a shrine maiden. Unfortunately, this could not lift the curse from her body. She was afraid to go out and often preferred to lock herself in her room. Because once you go out, you are very likely to attract ghosts and cause misfortune. She would rather stay at home watching the Weido show or listening to Ringo Chizura's songs. The snow scenery was beautiful today, and I felt restless enough to venture out into the snow. Unexpectedly, I ran into the boy named Asakura Yoh. Because of her spiritual awareness, Anna knew that, barring any unforeseen circumstances, this Yoh Asakura was her fiancé. Anna wasn't actually opposed to Yoh Asakura's orders, but she wasn't exactly unhappy about them either. It's laughable that someone like that could be my husband. She was unwilling to disobey her master's orders, but she also disagreed with the idea that Asakura Kino and Nikomata believed that Asakura Yoh would become the Shaman King. The eaves, which had been covered with a thick layer of snow, were now icy cold. Some of the falling snow, unable to bear its weight, fell from the eaves and landed on the snow layer on the ground. The sudden sound of snowflakes startled Anna from her reverie. She pulled the sheet tighter around herself. She didn't feel cold, only lonely. Suddenly, the image of a boy in blue flashed through Anna's mind. It was that mysterious boy. She couldn't help but compare the mysterious boy to Asakura Yoh, and then her lips twitched. Anna thought to herself, am I going crazy? How could I compare him to Yoh Asakura? Yoh Asakura was nothing more than a cowardly and useless shaman, while that mysterious boy was a powerful being who killed a demon with a single punch. Especially after he possessed and merged with the spirit wielding the Whitebeard, his domineering aura made even the usually calm and collected Anna feel her heart pound. Whitebeard Newgate. Anna murmured to herself, trying to find the spirit's existence in the long river of history. The image of that boy kept appearing in her mind, as if dispelling the lingering, inescapable loneliness that surrounded her. It stirred a ripple that shouldn't have existed in her heart, which had been dormant for many years. Anna did not approve of Yoh Asakura, even though it was her master's order. She couldn't help but recall the mysterious boy's punch that shattered everything. Only at times like these does Anna feel a sense of security and a faint warmth in her heart. As for Yoh Asakura, Anna didn't see his bravery, instead, she only saw his cowardly appearance. In the end, she didn't even meet him in person before returning directly to the Shrine Maiden Shrine. Anna didn't have any good feelings towards her fiancé. Meanwhile, Asakura Yoh, whom Anna had been talking about, was soaking in a hot spring wrapped in a bath towel. Call. The door to the hot spring room was pushed open, and Nikomata Munko walked in. Upon seeing him, Yoh Asakura immediately shouted excitedly, Mr. Muku! Come and soak in the hot spring with me. Nekamatsuri's lips twitched slightly, but he still couldn't resist the temptation of soaking in the hot spring. He slid into the water at lightning speed and sighed, Brother Yet, what were your thoughts when the ghosts appeared today? Haha. Yoh Asakura awkwardly touched his hair and said with a laugh, I was so nervous at the time. That ghost was really terrifying and ferocious. As a psychic, how can I be so frightened into running away because of a mere evil spirit? Nikomata Munamun's tone was somewhat serious. He wasn't dissatisfied with Asakura Yoh's performance today. But after talking to that mysterious psychic, he also felt a little strange. He brought Brother Ye to Mount Kyaku to see his fiancée, Anna Kyaku. Unfortunately, it seems that Anna was left with the image of a cowardly runaway. It wasn't exactly a rout. Yoh Asakura said nonchalantly. The evil spirit came with great force, and I wanted to avoid its sharp edge first. Anyway, with Master Yu here, that ghost won't cause any trouble. But that boy I met today, he's really strong. I've never seen such a powerful psychic before. Asakura Yoh repeatedly expressed his admiration and respect for Zhu Chen to Amidamaru. Without even using a weapon, just one punch shattered the air into dust. Cat Demon also fell silent for a moment, recalling the terror of that young man. Seeing the incredibly excited Asakura Yoh, Amidamaru felt a pang of heartache. Brother Yet, the burden on his shoulders. I'm afraid it's not easy for him either. According to Amidamaru, Asakura Yoh was just putting on a brave face. After all, no one could possibly smile while carrying such a heavy burden. Brother Yet, you will definitely be as powerful as that young shaman in the future, or even more powerful. After all, isn't Brother Yi's dream to become the Shaman King? Yoh Asakura lay back in the hot spring pool, a slight smile on her lips. Master Gu, you're right. Only by becoming the Shaman King can one live a carefree and leisurely life. Amidamaru couldn't help but face-palm, almost falling into the hot spring pool. He wasn't very tall, and the water in the pool was enough to completely submerge him. He felt a bit of a headache. Could Brother Ye really stand out among countless psychics and gain the recognition of the Elf King to become the Psychic King in his current state? Cat and Stalk Sect couldn't help but feel a little suspicious. If it were that boy, perhaps he could have grown to a level where he could rival Ye Wang. If the young master can get to know him and win him over, he can become an ally of the Asakura family. The plan would be much more reliable to work together to deal with Asakura Hao and stop his plan, and then push Hao into the position of Shaman King. Without prior agreement, Amidamaru and Asakura Kino made the same decision. Zhu Chen, this mysterious psychic, has the potential to become a force to be reckoned with against Asakura Yoh. With his help, Yi's future will be brighter, and some of the burden on his shoulders can be lifted. Chapter 5. The nights in Aomori seem exceptionally long. The pedestrians who used to come and go on the street during the day have now disappeared. Zhu Chen arrived at Aomori Inn after slaying the little devil. This is the largest guesthouse near Aomori, as you can tell from its name. 2,000 yen a night is a reasonable price. He is easygoing and doesn't have high requirements for accommodation, but it can't be too bad either. Zhu Chen seemed to be someone detached from this world, like a rootless duckweed, going wherever his heart desired and drifting with the wind. After spending one night in Aomori, you can head to the next destination. Although he didn't know where the next location would be. However, it was quite interesting to run into Anna and Yoh Asakura here. Yet is too young now, and doesn't have any special abilities in the storyline, all she has is a gentle and sensitive heart. Therefore, Zhu Chen did not regret saving Yi's life. Even when it comes to the struggle for Shaman King in the future, Ye might be a formidable rival to him. But he didn't care, that showed his confidence in his own abilities. Zhu Chen didn't think about it any further. For him, it was just a simple matter. Rest for the night, and tomorrow I can sleep in a little longer and then have a proper stroll around Mount Ozari. Zhu Chen muttered to himself as he finished washing up and lay in bed, lost in thought. For psychics, meditation can be considered a form of spiritual practice, which can enhance their magical power slightly. Of course, you can also use another term, like daydreaming. A spiritualist needs to empty their mind and thoughts in order to more easily accept spirits into their body. When you're daydreaming or meditating, you're in a state of mental clarity. The more you practice, the smoother the connection will be when you merge with a spirit. This is the experience Zhu Chen has summarized. Now, the process of fusing with the white-bearded spirit body takes no more than 0.3 seconds. Of course, this depends on the situation, and it's not always this urgent. When he possessed and fused with the demon today, he was quite casual about it. Hey? This feeling is. Just as Zhu Chen was meditating, he sensed a mysterious and eerie aura locking onto him. She is a priestess, and quite powerful at that. She exudes an ancient and aged aura. Who could be so bored? A sense of doubt arose in Zhu Chen's mind. Mount Kyo was so vast, he didn't know who could have used the unique tracking and search methods of a shrine maiden to locate him. No matter who you are, anyone who pries into other people's privacy should be punished. A surge of anger rose within him, and his starry eyes beneath his sword-like brows widened instantly. Humph! The white-bearded spirit instantly completed its possession and fusion, and a powerful and domineering aura trembled towards the person it had locked onto. This is a way of using Conqueror's haki. Whitebeard's innate haki was enough to intimidate others. Pfft! Far away at the shrine of the shrine, Yoh Asakura suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood and let out a series of old coughs. The mysterious aura that locked onto Zhu Chen was formed by Asakura Kino herself using the shrine maiden divination technique. Unfortunately, she did not expect that the mysterious boy's power would be so terrifying. Just one glance from him had injured her. What terrifying magical power! The shock hidden behind Asakura Kino's sunglasses lingered for a long time. She didn't recognize the domineering aura and only thought it was Zhu Chen's witchcraft. This level of magical power is probably comparable to that of Asakura Yoh back then. Unfortunately, there is no magic power detection instrument, so we cannot clearly detect his magic power level. Although the strength of a psychic cannot be entirely determined by the strength of their magical power. But powerful magical abilities are a prerequisite for becoming a great spiritualist. It can be confirmed that the boy that Bai Nico saw does indeed possess strength comparable to Ye Wang. If we can recruit him into the Asakura family, the pressure on Yi's shoulders will probably be much less in the future. For a moment, Kino Asakura, who was already unable to sleep due to her restlessness, became even more preoccupied. That night, Asakura Kino couldn't sleep. Inside the Kyoto Mountain Lodge, Zhu Chen deactivated the white-bearded spirit fusion and sensed that the priestess's aura had disappeared. "Kid, I'm sleeping. Do you think it's okay to wake me up in the middle of the night to do hard labor?" The white-bearded man cursed and his mustache stood up even higher. Zhu Chen rolled her eyes at him. "Aren't you a spirit? You need to sleep too." "Who says spirits don't need to sleep? I'm a white-bearded old man, and no one can stop me from doing what I want." Zhu Chen ignored him and pulled the blanket over himself. Sure enough, the blanket passed right through the white-bearded man's enormous spirit body and covered him. "I never thought it really wouldn't work." Whitebeard sighed, a hint of melancholy flashing in his eyes. If only. Unfortunately, he was a spirit, unlike Gu Zong, he did not have a physical body. Human soul mode, super spirit body. Zhu Chen let out a low shout, and instantly the white-bearded spirit was compressed into a small ball of ghost fire, which he then possessed and fused with the medium. "Go to sleep quietly," Zhu Chen said nonchalantly and continued to sleep. Today's meditation is almost over. The super spirit had materialized, and Whitebeard was able to cover himself with a blanket, which moved him somewhat. "You brat, can your witchcraft withstand this?" Zhu Chen ignored him, seemingly already asleep. "Tch. Arrogant brat." Seeing that he didn't react for a long time, the white-bearded man tightened the sheet a little, a strange feeling rising in his heart. It was as if a string deep within his heart had been struck hard, leaving him unable to calm down. When a psychic activates the super spirit mode, the spirit merges with a medium, allowing the spirit to take on a physical form. However, the super spirit mode consumes a great deal of magical power, and the process of consuming magical power is not pleasant. "I'm only doing this for spiritual practice." After a long while, just as the white-bearded man was drifting off to sleep, he suddenly heard Zhu Chen utter this sentence. It was as if he had pondered for a long time before finding such a seemingly reasonable reason. The white-bearded man revealed a knowing smile, thinking to himself, "That brat." He turned over, found a more comfortable position, and fell asleep more quickly. When Zhu Chen opened his eyes, he saw a huge bubble on the white-bearded man's nose, which rose and fell with his snoring. "Good night," he said to himself. The night passed quickly. When Zhu Chen woke up, he had deactivated his super spirit body and felt disoriented for a while. Even he, after maintaining the super spirit mode all night, felt somewhat tired. This is indeed a form of spiritual practice, maintaining a stable super spiritual state for an extended period of time, thereby prolonging the duration of one's super spiritual state. But who would practice such a perverse form of cultivation? Chapter 6. The streets were already quite lively in the morning, with many shops calling out to each other to attract customers. Wearing a white trench coat and headphones, Yoh Asakura strolled leisurely into a specialty shop. Upon closer inspection, one could see the struggle on his face that was unique to those who suffer from decision-making difficulties. "I have absolutely no idea what gifts to buy for Grandpa, Mom, and Yuxu." Yoh Asakura rested her chin on her hand, choosing from a variety of local specialty gifts. "We have to choose the gift carefully, especially for Grandpa, he's very picky about these things." He put his hands in his trench coat pockets and suddenly saw a box of wooden ear picks priced at 380 yen, which made his eyes light up. Yoh Asakura gave a blank smile. Pengji and Kangji should like this, after all, they're both old men. "What are you thinking, you pervert?" A melodious sound, like a gentle stream of water, rang out. Asakura Yoh turned his head and was momentarily stunned. Then he realized, "No. This. I didn't." He stared blankly at the blonde girl who had appeared before him. She wore a pink headband, a light gold kimono, and a long red skirt. Her eyes were like a clear pool of water, serene and profound. Unfortunately, a hint of disdain and contempt was hidden in his eyes at this moment. Thinking about such nonsense in broad daylight, what a pervert. Yoh Asakura felt wronged. This girl who suddenly appeared must be Anna, right? Little did he know that Anna had already seen him yesterday. He suddenly realized, wait. I didn't say any of that. Anna stared at him expressionlessly and asked, "So what exactly are Pengji and Kangji?" A strange feeling welled up in Yoh Asakura's heart, and thoughts began to surface unconsciously. He was about to explain when he heard Anna continue, "I see, they are your household spirits. What a disgusting name that a disgusting person would choose. Also, you look really sleazy, especially that mink. I really want to beat it up. What a spineless man, Yoh Asakura. My future husband is actually this kind of person." Yoh Asakura looked dejected, feeling somewhat wronged, when he realized something was amiss. He hadn't even told the girl the name of the spirit he possessed, so how did she know? Moreover, from the very beginning, it seemed that this girl knew what was in her heart. "How did you know?" "No, not only that, you don't even know what I look like, yet you can call me by name. And there are Pengji and Kangji. You've never met them, but you know their names and that one of them is a mink." Yoh Asakura rushed over, grabbed Anna's shoulders, and asked seriously, "What exactly is going on? Who are you?" Anna frowned slightly, a hint of annoyance flashing in her bright, watery eyes. Snap! A crisp sound echoed in the store, and Asakura Yoh was instantly sent flying. Feeling a tingling and burning pain on her face, Yoh Asakura felt extremely wronged. At the same time, he suddenly wondered, was this considered my first slap? It hurts so much. What do you want? Didn't you come to talk to me because you had something to say? If you get close to me, you will become unhappy. A trace of sorrow appeared on Anna's face, her eyes brimming with tears, a sight that tugged at the heartstrings, yet she remained strong. What? Asakura Yoh was a little lost in thought, not understanding what she meant. The door of the specialty store was suddenly pushed open, and a gust of cold wind carrying snowflakes flew in. The two people looked at each other, and their clothes swayed as they danced. Hey, is the boss there? Zhu Chen walked in with a nonchalant expression. Since he was just strolling around and sightseeing, he decided to buy some local specialties from Osaka Mountain, and happened to come across this shop. Anna and Yoh Asakura heard the familiar voice and both turned to look. It's you. A hint of excitement flashed in Yoh Asakura's eyes, completely disregarding the redness and swelling on his face after being slapped. Anna's gaze flickered, a sense of shock washing over her. How could he be here? It's you guys. Zhu Chen smiled slightly. He quite liked Asakura Yoh's personality and didn't have any ill feelings towards him. My name is Yoh Asakura. Are you here to buy souvenirs too? Souvenirs are for giving as gifts, but Zhu Chen didn't have anyone he needed to give gifts to, so he shook his head. I'm Zhu Chen, I just wanted to buy some local specialties as souvenirs. Haha, really? This store has a pretty complete selection of goods. Anna glanced at the grinning Asakura Yoh, then at the indifferent Zhu Chen, her expression unreadable. Are you buying gifts here too? Zhu Chen felt her gaze and replied with a smile. Anna's face immediately darkened, her eyes glistening with tears, yet her expression remained serious and somber. Don't talk to me, or you'll become unhappy. Zhu Chen was a little confused. It was just a greeting, was it really that serious? The smile on Yoh Asakura's face vanished. Anna, why would you say that? You. He wanted to say something more, but Anna glared at him coldly, her eyes glistening with tears. Yoh Asakura was unable to answer the question that was about to be asked. I've come to say goodbye. I'm not the only candidate for your wife. If you want a peaceful and happy life in the future, you should stay away from me and go back to Izumo. What? Asakura Yoh was stunned into thought. Thank you for coming to see me. After saying that, Anna turned to leave. Zhu Chen frowned, watching Anna's departing figure. Hey! I don't understand. Explain yourself. What do you mean? Yoh Asakura, however, remained defiant and chased after him. Who exactly are you? Anna stopped walking, but did not turn around. As soon as she finished speaking, countless will-o'-the-wisps gradually gathered behind her. Yoh Asakura's pupils widened instantly, and he took a step back. This is... The will-o'-the-wisps gradually coalesced, and a gigantic ghost appeared. Compared to the little ghost by the river, this brown ghost was almost 10 times larger. A ghostly creature with a long, thin horn on its head and a massive body made it look fierce and sinister. Its long arms are covered with 5 black claws that seem capable of easily piercing through a person's body. The ghost merely glanced coldly at Asakura Yoh, which frightened him so much that he sat down on the ground. That's why I told you to leave quickly. Those who get close to me will be brought misfortune by me. Anna repeated the sentence, seemingly already used to the appearance of ghosts. Although this ghost seems to be more powerful than the ghosts we've encountered before. No, I still don't understand. Yoh Asakura's eyes widened. Although he was somewhat panicked at the moment, he still stubbornly wanted to know an answer. Chapter 7. Yoh Asakura stared directly at the brown ghost, his dilated pupils filled with shock and a hint of fear. The ghost's eyes, however, were filled with greed as it looked at Yoh Asakura. Saliva dripped from the corners of its mouth, beneath its numerous fangs, as if it were eyeing a delicious meal. The magical power emanating from Asakura Yoh was an excellent tonic for it. Being stared at by such a ghostly creature sent chills down Yoh Asakura's spine. I don't understand, but it's so scary. Under other circumstances, he would probably have simply run away. Seeing Anna's somewhat indifferent face today, he no longer wanted to run away. Boom! The brown, ghostly creature's enormous arm reached out to grab Yoh Asakura. Its hands are covered with long, thin black nails. If you get caught in its grip, you'll be seriously injured, if not killed. Ghosts are ominous, and no one wants to be near them. Yoh Asakura was unwilling, so he quickly rolled away to avoid the demon's attack. Bang! The glass display case of the Kongshan specialty store behind him was immediately shattered by a single claw. It appeared Yoh Asakura couldn't understand whether he was incompatible with ghosts and had encountered this kind of thing again. The flying glass shards made him scramble to his feet and flee in panic, covering his head to protect himself. The demon's first attack failed, and seeing Asakura Yoru staggering and dodging, it lashed out with its claws again. Despite his enormous size, he remained agile. Yoh Asakura had no choice but to lower his head again, dodging the demon's attack once more. Anna turned her back to the panicked Yoh Asakura, letting him be attacked by the demons. It's always like this for me, I encounter ghosts as soon as I step outside, until they disappear after committing evil. Her tone was low and filled with a sense of self-abandonment. Yoh Asakura was stunned, sensing the immense pain in the girl's heart. I just want to stay in my room. As long as I don't come out, everything will be fine. So, this ghost wasn't something you wanted to create. Asakura Yoh was still in a daze when she saw a shadow appear above her head and quickly dodged away again. Sure enough, the next moment the ghost's claws came crashing down, smashing the glass cabinet again. Damn it! Where did this ghost come from? You're the devil, you brat! At this moment, the owner of the specialty shop, who couldn't see any ghosts, stormed out, holding a katana in his hand. I already found it too noisy, and now you've ruined the windows of so many of my precious shops, UBD. Kumakura Isao, the first owner of Kumakura Specialty Products Shop, is here to uphold justice. Shop owner Kumakura Isao was about to step forward sternly and teach Asakura Yoh a lesson. Yoh Asakura felt utterly innocent and wanted to cry but couldn't. Upon seeing Kumakura Isao approaching menacingly, he immediately turned to flee. Now is not the time to do this kind of thing. Then Yoh Asakura saw the broken glass on the ground and was stunned. By the way, ghosts are clearly spirits, so why can they break glass? So, does he have a physical form? Just like the stock market tycoon, isn't that too strange? Yes. Kumakura Isao, too lazy to listen to his endless nonsense, swung his sword down. The demon lunged forward with a claw, knocking Kumakura Isao's sword away. Yoh Asakura quickly pushed him away a little to avoid being hit hard by the ghost. Why can ghosts attack physical objects? Yoh Asakura became increasingly puzzled. Ah! Kumakura Isao was hit hard and fell to the ground, even knocking out his dentures. The glass shattered by itself. Could it really be the work of a ghost? Young man, did you save me just now? Yoh Asakura ignored him and instead picked up the knife from the ground. No, he's targeting me. Since ghosts can attack physical objects, I should also have a way to deal with them. The shop's main entrance had been smashed by the brown ghost, and countless glass display cases were damaged. Zhu Chen lost interest in continuing his search and walked indifferently to the door, staring at the ghost. The white-bearded spirit quietly appeared, its enormous body standing beside him, almost completely blocking the shop's entrance. This girl seems to have some unusual secret. Zhu Chen simply nodded without saying a word. Hey kid, watch out, this knife is sharpened. Kumakura Isao noticed that Asakura Yoh had gripped a knife and seemed about to fight, so he quickly called out to warn her. That suits me perfectly. Yoh Asakura rushed forward, and at that moment, countless courage surged within him. Hey, are you looking to die? Zhu Chen grabbed Asakura Yoh, who was rushing out. It's unbelievable that this boy could come up with such a naive idea. Only a ghost can attack another ghost. You don't think that having a knife will be enough to do anything, do you? Yoh Asakura calmed down, her brow furrowing, but this demon, it can shatter glass, can't it? Zhu Chen was too lazy to explain further, so he snatched the katana and shot it straight at the ghost. However, the katana merely pierced through the demon without causing it any damage. Do you understand now? How could this be? Yoh Asakura was momentarily flustered. Anna finally turned around and looked at Asakura Yoh, who was confronting Zhu Chen in front of the ghost. Her pupils contracted slightly, and her deep, dark eyes revealed a mysterious undercurrent. No way, Zhu Chen, do you really want to fight this ghost? Anna had a series of thoughts running through her mind, but she didn't say them aloud. This is a large brown demon, its power is incomparable to the small blue demon we encountered before. Don't you feel scared? Why don't you leave quickly? You should too, and so should Yet. Why are you unwilling to leave even though I have clearly told you that getting close to me will bring misfortune? A perfect smile appeared on Zhu Chen's lips. Instead of retreating, he took another step forward. Be careful, little one, Yoh Asakura warned worriedly. He saw that the katana was useless against the demons and was now at a loss. A mere ghost, not worth mentioning. Zhu Chen looked at the ghost with a cold expression. There was no fear whatsoever, rather, it was as if they were watching prey. The large brown demon drooled again, sensing a pure magical power emanating from Zhu Chen. This delicious magical power was more tempting to him than the one emanating from Yoh Asakura. Anna, nothing is unchangeable. And what is called misfortune is utterly insignificant in the face of absolute power. If fate is unfavorable, then let's break free from it. Anna suddenly froze, standing there motionless. Zhu Chen seemed to be talking to himself, yet also as if he were speaking to her. Roar! The brown ghost could no longer contain itself and charged towards Zhu Chen. It attacked with both of its giant claws at the same time, trying to tear Zhu Chen to pieces. Then it will devour his magical power until it is completely exhausted. Zhu Chen's expression was indifferent as he held one hand in front of him. Whitebeard Newgate, Soul Mode. Chapter 8. The possession and fusion were completed instantly, and Zhu Chen's aura changed drastically. If he was cold and indifferent before, now he looks down upon the world. The brown demon, unafraid, opened its blood-red maw, revealing a mouth full of hideous fangs. A terrifying aura erupted from the ghost. Its previous encounter with Asakura Yoh was more like a game. Seeing the pure and delicious magic power, he could no longer restrain himself and suddenly made his move. Careful! Get out of the way, Zhu Chen! Anna's heart skipped a beat for some reason, and she couldn't help but warn him. Zhu Chen, however, showed no fear whatsoever, and even had the energy to give her a slight smile. Thanks for reminding me, but it's not necessary. That mere ghost? One punch is all it takes. A domineering aura surged through Zhu Chen's body, making people want to submit to him. A hint of arrogance appeared on his face, showing no regard for the ghost. Ha! Zhu Chen let out a sharp shout and suddenly unleashed a punch that had been blocking his way. Instantly, a tremor of power spread out, and the surrounding space was frozen as before. The brown ghost was inches away from him, and it seemed that if it took another step, it could tear him to pieces. Unfortunately, this step has already brought us to an insurmountable distance. The ghost, along with the space itself, was frozen in place, unable to move at all. Before it could even feel fear, the entire space shattered and turned into dust. Boom! Just like the glass display case in the specialty store, it shattered with a crash. The enormous and invincible brown monster was smashed by his punch and vanished. The wind was gentle and the clouds were light, just like always. It was as if the ghosts had never appeared. How could this be? Anna murmured, her clear eyes wide. This ghost has reached the level of a medium-sized ghost, gathering the power of countless vengeful spirits. Just like that, vanished and annihilated with a single punch? She could hardly believe what she was seeing. Even if it were my own master, he might not be able to solve it in one move, right? Yoh Asakura also opened his mouth wide, almost enough to fit an egg inside. Wow, that's amazing! I've seen it before, but is there no limit to the power of this punch? His eyes sparkled, he had never seen such a powerful psychic before. Where did this guy named Zhu Chen come from? Ripples appeared in Anna's usually calm eyes. She became extremely curious about this suddenly appearing powerful psychic. He shattered the demon with a single punch, and even had some strength left over. Judging from his nonchalant demeanor, perhaps even being a ghost is far from the limit? Anna stared at Zhu Chen, lost in thought. Immediately, noticing that the latter's gaze seemed to have shifted to her, she hurriedly turned her head away. A faint, almost imperceptible blush appeared on her cheeks. Anna forced herself to calm down and acted as if nothing had happened. In the world of psychics, everyone felt that Ye was carrying too heavy a burden. But who knows that Anna also carries the same heavy burden as Kazuha? Zhu Chen looked at Anna with a strange expression, a hint of heartache in his eyes. Although he didn't remember the entire plot, he was quite familiar with Anna, a very popular character. A child abandoned from childhood, considered an omen of bad luck by everyone, and left in the haunted Mount Ozari. Mount Ozaria is one of the 3 great sacred sites of Japan. Due to the volcanic eruption, it is filled with smoke and sulfur, and is heavy with malevolent energy. A little girl was abandoned here as a baby and grew up here. A barely perceptible hint of sympathy and heartache appeared in Zhu Chen's eyes. The ghosts have been eliminated, now only you can control your own destiny. He suddenly laughed freely, realizing that he was merely an outsider to the painting, so why was he always lamenting the passing of spring and the coming of autumn? The important thing is to achieve the Shaman King goal as soon as possible and find the way home. Brother Yet, Miss Anna, farewell. He prepared to take his leave, and having seen Anna, he had no regrets. Hearing Zhu Chen's words, Anna felt a surge of emotion. Perhaps I should really try to fight for it instead of being so passive? Can a cursed fate be controlled and changed by oneself? However, upon hearing that Zhu Chen was preparing to leave, Anna suddenly felt a sense of panic. She had never felt this way before, it was as if she was reluctant to part. But her face showed no emotion, she remained calm and indifferent, looking at Zhu Chen without expression. She wanted to say something to persuade them to stay, but felt she had no right to do so. Moreover, she had never had such an experience before and couldn't bring herself to talk about it. Hey? Is Zhu Chenjun leaving so soon? How about we go to my grandma's house for a cup of tea? There's also a hot spring pool at home, which is super relaxing to soak in. Speaking of which, you've saved me twice already, and I haven't had a chance to repay you yet. If guests pass by our house and we don't invite them in and entertain them, then the Asakura family is being extremely impolite. Yoh Asakura spoke rapidly, giving almost no one a chance to interrupt. Anna glanced at Yoh Asakura with a hint of gratitude for the first time, feeling that his words were exactly what she wanted to say. She didn't show it, but silently harbored a sliver of expectation. Zhu Chen thought about it again and realized that if it were Ye, they would get along quite well. Yoh Asakura, the protagonist of the Shaman King world, has a cheerful and easygoing personality. Although she can be a little weak at times, she is by no means a gentle person. Such a person seems like a good friend, doesn't he? Seeing Asakura Yoh's slightly simple and honest smile, Zhu Chen nodded in agreement, all right. Hehe, come with me, I'll lead the way. Aomori is not a big city, and this souvenir shop is not far from the shrine of Kino Asakura. Zhu Chen and Anna followed behind Asakura Yoh. He didn't pay much attention to the sensitive thoughts of the girl beside him. On the contrary, Yi's enthusiasm touched him somewhat. In the 3 years he spent in the Shaman King world, he seemed to have no one he could call a friend, except perhaps Ye. Where is Zhu Chenjun from? Asakura Yoh asked curiously, tilting her head as she led the way. Me? A puzzled look appeared on Zhu Chen's face. I guess you could say I'm Hyuxia. Asakura Yoh turned around and walked backwards, her eyes filled with longing and anticipation. I've heard that Daxia is incredibly vast, filled with famous mountains and rivers, and boasts a wide variety of delicious foods. I wonder if that's true. Zhu Chen nodded, without denying it. Although the country I live in is not the same as the country of Daxia in the Shaman King world, However, in terms of local customs and delicacies, there is not much difference. After 3 years of travel, he returned to that country, but unfortunately, everything had changed. I wonder when I'll be able to travel to Daxia. Asakura Yoh was still walking backwards, her eyes sparkling. Oops! He suddenly tripped and fell to the ground. It was a protruding rock by the roadside. Chapter 9. When Konami and Muso returned, Anna, Yoh Asakura, and Chen were watching TV and having tea in the living room. The TV was showing the Weido show. The two looked at each other, both wondering if they were seeing things. Grandma, Muso, you're back. Yoh Asakura greeted them with a smile. Kino Asakura nodded, somewhat surprised. Anna had been her disciple ever since. Aside from seeing her when teaching witchcraft, she spends the rest of her time locked in her hut. Today, for the first time ever, you actually came out? Is it because of that boy? She and Guzong certainly wouldn't overlook the young man who was calmly drinking tea. Feeling the gazes of Munai and Guzong, Zhu Chen smiled and nodded to them as a greeting. Grandma, this is my new friend, Zhu Chen. He is the strongest psychic I have ever seen. The ghost I encountered during the day could not last a single move against Zhu Chen. Zhu Chen stood up and calmly explained, Brother Yet, you flatter me. I just happen to know some ghost-slaying techniques. Munai and Guzong exchanged a glance, the shock in their eyes not fading. They had been discussing how to bind this boy to the Asakura family. Unexpectedly, Ye had already taken the initiative and invited everyone to his home. Zhu Chen is too modest. Being able to kill ghosts is not just a matter of coincidence. Kino Asakura smiled kindly at Zhu Chen, since he is Yi's friend, you must treat him well and not fail to observe the etiquette of the Asakura family. No need for such formalities, I'm used to taking things as they come, Zhu Chen replied politely. At this moment, he was unaware that the shrine maiden he had unintentionally injured last night was none other than Kino Asakura. Guzong looked at him with curiosity, his heart filled with shock. How could such a young man severely injure Zhonggui with a single punch? Brother Yet, who are you? As a cat demon, Guzong was very curious. But before he could ask, Kino Asakura grabbed him and dragged him out. Hey Guzong, let's go soak in the hot springs for a while. I need you to scrub my back. Bang! The door closed, leaving the three of them staring at each other in bewilderment. Actually, this Weido show is pretty good. Zhu Chen nodded, I prefer listening to Ringo Chizuru's singing programs. Does Zhu Chen also like listening to music? The life I yearn for most is one where I can leisurely listen to music. Starlight shone in Yoh Asakura's eyes. Anna glanced at him but didn't say anything. In fact, Ringo Shina is also her favorite singer. However, Anna wasn't good at discussing these kinds of things with others. She only uses her right hand to slap people, making them submit. Yoru Asakura casually summarized a whole host of wonderful things about listening to music, even frankly stating that listening to music is a form of spiritual practice. Zhu Chen responded with a smile, inadvertently catching a glimpse of the girl's longing gaze. Does Miss Anna also like listening to music? Anna was discovered, but she regained her composure and nodded slightly. Speaking of which, does Miss Anna possess the ability to read minds? Upon hearing this, Anna and Yoh Asakura both looked at Zhu Chen in surprise. Is that so, Anna? Yoh Asakura's face was blank. No wonder, at the specialty shop today, even though we've never met before, you knew everything about me. How did you know? Anna was shocked inside, but her face remained expressionless. Some people are born with clairvoyance, but they are mistaken for evil spirits cursing them. Simply because they can see into people's hearts and see the most despicable and base thoughts in the world. But Miss Anna, although your spiritual vision is strong, it will eventually lead to you being devoured by evil spirits. We cannot stand idly by. Yoh Asakura looked horrified, never expecting such a severe outcome. You must feel pain every time you realize the wickedness of people's hearts, right? A hint of weakness flashed across Anna's face, but she quickly regained her resolve. You should all leave. I hate everyone and don't need your pity or sympathy. This is my own business, you two don't need to worry about it. A hint of pity flashed in Zhu Chen's eyes, every move the girl made touched him. I've decided that I won't leave Aomori for the time being. Anna looked at him with a hint of doubt in her eyes as clear as autumn water. You must be very tired every day, right? Zhu Chen smiled slightly, a rare hint of gentleness appearing in his otherwise calm demeanor. Can you really be happy by pretending to be strong all the time? Anna suddenly felt a pang of panic and quickly turned her back. She felt her eyes suddenly getting hot. This was a feeling I'd never experienced before, as if something was about to burst out of my eyes. My vision blurred, and a single, crystal clear tear silently fell. Anna's delicate body trembled slightly. I don't need your help. After saying that, she rushed out of the living room and ran towards her room. They seemed somewhat flustered and at a loss. Anna, Asakura Yoh looked puzzled, then glanced at Zhu Chen. He always felt that there was something different about the two of them. Back in her room, Anna lay on her bed, unable to bear it any longer, letting her tears flow silently. Abandoned as a child, he suffered countless humiliations as an adult, and endured strict guidance from his master. Anna, you need to. Anna, you can't. Anna, you are the fiancé candidate we have prepared for yet, you must become. Everyone either regarded her as an ominous sign and avoided her, or ordered her to do this or that. No one has ever cared whether she's tired after all these years. Since closing her heart and imprisoning her soul, she has never felt tired. It wasn't until Zhu Chen asked her today that she suddenly realized this. It's not that I'm not tired, it's just that no matter how tired I am, only I know and I have to bear it all by myself. Only Zhu Chen asked her if she was tired or happy. Her pillow was soaked, but she didn't even notice. Anna, came Yoh Asakura's voice from outside the door. If you're feeling bored, why not join us and go to the streets for a New Year's shrine visit? Staying cooped up at home all the time will make you feel lonely and stifled. I'm not going, you guys go. Anna hesitated for a moment, but still refused. She locked herself away, not just because she was lonely. Furthermore, it's because once she goes to crowded places, she inevitably becomes aware of the ugliness in other people's hearts. Countless wronged souls and vengeful ghosts will gather together and form a great demon. Anna, let's go together. If any ghosts appear, I'll protect you. Zhu Chen's voice rang out, as calm as ever, yet convincing. Anna was slightly taken aback, it seemed as if Zhu Chen knew what she was thinking. In an instant, she was filled with a sense of security, as if no matter how many ghosts appeared, she would not be afraid. Fortunately, there was still a door. Anna touched her burning cheeks, which were already as red as jade. Chapter 10. At the shrine's hot spring, Kano is enjoying a relaxing bath. As people get older, they often feel a lack of energy. A hot spring bath can relieve all her fatigue and allow her to sleep soundly. In particular, there is the back rubbing technique that has been passed down for thousands of years. Anna and Ye both like listening to music, so they should get along well. Gu Zhong nodded. In her heart, Miss Anna is actually pursuing the same thing as brother Ye. I also believe that the two of them are a perfect match. Bringing Ye to Ozari Mountain this time has been quite successful. After all, this kid has already managed to get Anna out of the room, which is quite a breakthrough. Gu Zhong nodded. Brother Ye has a gentle and kind temperament, and it is very comfortable to be around him. That mysterious young man, Zhu Chen, is also on good terms with brother Ye. Zhu Chen. I don't know what his background is. Ye, who has never had any friends, actually brought him to her home to entertain him. It seems that their relationship is quite close. Munai frowned slightly. Although she intended to win over Zhu Chen, she didn't know his background at all. She still harbored some wariness towards Zhu Chen. Especially since he was injured by Zhu Chen last night, even though the latter might not know it at all. Children and grandchildren have their own blessings, just let nature take its course. Gu Zong was quite open-minded about this matter. Despite his 1,000 years of travels, he had never heard of any powerful young man named Zhu Chen. Munai shook her head. Last night I used witchcraft to test that guy named Zhu Chen. Oh? Did you find anything? Gu Zong did not object to Zhu Chen and Asakura Yoh's contact, but that did not mean he was not curious about this person. Kanamai Asakura's sorcery practice spanned decades, and few could rival her. With her investigating, she should be able to find out some details about Zhu Chen. However, Kino Asakura's expression turned serious, and she shook her head. I failed, I didn't detect any useful information. Moreover, I suffered a backlash from him. Just one look from him was enough to seriously injure me and make me cough up blood. How is this possible? Gu Zong's eyes widened, and the fur on his two cattails stood on end. Even the King Ye back then would have had a hard time harming a witch dozens of miles away with a single glance, right? Kino Asakura got out of the hot spring pool and did not deny what Muzan had said. This awe-inspiring power transcends the realm of witchcraft. Just who is this guy named Zhu Chen? Is he friend or foe to the Asakura family? Munai's words were filled with anxiety. Gu Zong comforted him, saying, it seems that his relationship with Brother Ye is not bad at present, so there's no need to worry unnecessarily. He hesitated for a moment, then continued, and it seems that he gets along very well with Miss Anna. Miss Anna usually comes and goes alone, but today, for the first time ever, she is watching TV in the living room with Brother Ye and Zhu Chenjun. I wonder if it's because of Brother Ye, or because of Zhu Chenjun. Mummy was dressed, her deep gaze hidden behind sunglasses. Anna. I'll ignore Anna for now. If Zhu Chenjun can be bound to Asakura Ye, then we can cultivate Ye. Then, the chances of stopping Ye Wang and helping Ye Rong ascend to the position of Shaman King will be much greater. Although Anna is the most suitable for Ye, she is only one of Ye's fiancé candidates. Gu Zong nodded, not denying Zhu Chen's strength. To be able to kill a demon with a single punch, and to be so young, is simply monstrous. But Miss Anna is indeed a perfect match for Brother Ye. The two of them standing together looked like a perfect match. The stars, I don't know when, filled the night sky. The sound of a man and a woman talking could be heard coming from in front of the shrine, and the youthful energy made the night sky seem a little brighter. Let's go, New Year's shrine visit. Ha 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 ha. Yoh Asakura took the lead and left the shrine. Anna finally accepted their invitation. Perhaps deep down, she longed to participate in New Year's worship ceremonies like a normal person. Of course, the sense of security that Zhu Chen gave her was also indispensable. After leaving the house, she subconsciously avoided looking directly into Zhu Chen's eyes. She didn't know what was wrong with her, but she felt as if she was no longer the Anna she used to be. In her heart, there was a shadow that would touch her whenever she thought of it. Anna instead tightened her pale gold kimono, as if afraid that someone would see through her heart. She and Zhu Chen followed quietly behind, the three of them moving at a leisurely pace. Brother Ye, it's still early, so there probably aren't many people on the streets. It's okay. We'll all be out eventually anyway, so if we go early we can play a little longer. New Year's worship only takes place for a limited time each year, so don't miss it because you're late. Zhu Chen smiled wryly. It seemed that Brother Ye truly enjoyed this leisurely and carefree life. By the second-floor window, Matsumi and Kanamai, who had just finished taking a bath, showed a hint of surprise in their eyes. I didn't expect Miss Anna to be traveling with someone else. It seems Brother Ye is quite adept at inviting girls. Gu Zong's smile was filled with a hint of mockery. Kino Asakura shook her head, I know Anna very well. The reason she went out is most likely because of Zhu Chen. Gu Zong's eyes showed surprise again. Really? Human emotions are truly complex, even with 1,000 years of experience, I still cannot fully comprehend them. All things have a spirit, and the complexity and variability of human nature is also a manifestation of human spirituality. Muna began to wonder, Anna is willing to travel with others, does that mean she has decided to truly open her heart? Those born with spiritual vision can understand the hearts of others without speaking or touching them. What is so special about this Zhu Chen that Anna trusts him so much? Suddenly, Yoh Asakura's expression changed. Oh no! There will definitely be a lot of people visiting the shrine during the new year. With so many people, it will be a nuisance. When all 108 kinds of troubles gather, and Anna can understand his heart, his resentment will be mixed and a great demon will surely be born. A great demon? In that case, let me go too. Gu Zong showed a thoughtful expression, then understood. Do you know the price for this? The strength of a great demon is far beyond that of an ordinary little demon, it is extremely difficult to deal with. If anything goes wrong, I'm afraid you won't be able to keep this body. Gu Zong nodded slightly. In all things in the world, there are gains and losses. If lending my crippled body can help Miss Anna escape the abyss and open her heart, then it will be worth it. Mataso. Don't worry, Mummy sang, I'm leaving now. Gu Zong smiled calmly and stepped lightly onto the windowsill. He looked up at the bright moon in the sky, perhaps this is the only chance that Miss Anna will have to open her heart. This is also for Brother Yi's future. After saying this, Gu Zong's figure disappeared. Chapter 11. Asakura Yoh led Zhu Chen and Anna across the snow. The new year is so wonderful. There are lively temple fairs everywhere. Zhu Chen, look. There are even ghost dancer masks. Brother Yat, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of mask should be more suitable for women. Haha, really? Actually, I was planning to give Anna a mask. Anna, you also think this demon dancer mask is pretty good, right? Yoh Asakura scratched his head at Anna. Unfortunately, Anna seemed to be in a daze after she came out, and her mood didn't improve after hearing his words. She just stared blankly at Asakura Yoh. Asakura Yoh felt a little intimidated by Anna's gaze and awkwardly laughed. Since you don't like this mask, then forget it, haha. Asakura Yoh sensed Anna's cold gaze and suddenly felt hesitant to speak to her, his earlier courage vanishing. He only dared to speak to Zhu Chen at that moment. The ancient temple in front is also open. If you want to make a wish, there is no better place than visiting during the new year. At the beginning of the year, to express one's wishes before the gods is not to ask for their protection, but to make a vow to oneself. What to do this year, what kind of person to become, set your mind firm and don't let anyone sway you. Of course, the takoyaki at the temple fair is the most delicious, haha. Zhu Chen nodded, this is a New Year festival unique to Japan, but in Daxia, we don't celebrate the New Year like this. Oh? Zhu Chen, what is the Hyuxia New Year festival like? Zhu Chen revealed a hint of reminiscence. The Hyuxia New Year is divided into Lunar New Year's Eve and the Spring Festival. Zhu Chen's tone was gentler than ever before. Yoh Asakura listened attentively, his face filled with longing. Neither of them noticed that Anna, who was traveling with them, had unconsciously fixed her gaze on Zhu Chen. She was momentarily captivated by Zhu Chen's gentle gaze reflected in her eyes. After talking for so long, I'm suddenly a little thirsty. Zhu Chen said casually as he looked at the vending machine in the distance. I'm going to buy some drinks. What would you like, Brother Yat? Me? Yoh Asakura scratched the back of his head and said casually, since Zhu Chen is treating, I'll take a can of Coke. Zhu Chen nodded, then looked at Anna. Their eyes met instantly, and Anna blushed and turned her head away, pretending to be nonchalant. Zhu Chen's lips curled into a slight smile. What would Miss Anna like to drink? It doesn't matter. Plain water is fine. Understood. Zhu Chen smiled and walked towards the vending machine. Anna breathed a sigh of relief and then relaxed. A thought popped into her mind, did Zhu Chen notice that she was peeking? Suddenly, Anna frowned deeply, feeling an intense pain welling up from the depths of her heart. Anna squatted on the ground, her face contorted with pain and fear, her right hand clutching her chest tightly. What's wrong, Anna? Asakura Yoh immediately came over, looking worried. A ghost. There's a ghost. Anna's voice was low and hoarse, as she was enduring great pain. Asakura Yoh's expression turned serious. He looked up and realized that the roadside woods were now teeming with ghosts. The two of them were already surrounded by hundreds of ghosts. So many ghosts. A large, horned demon, revealing long fangs, suddenly attacked Anna Asakura. Smack! Before Yoh Asakura could react, a golden shadow suddenly appeared and kicked the ghost away. Stockmaster! He looked at the newcomer with surprise and delight. It was none other than Cat Stockmaster. The ghost was kicked by Guzong and sent flying backward, crashing into the snow and stirring up waves of snow. Master Gu, something terrible has happened. It's all my fault. So many ghosts have appeared. Guzong revealed a calm smile, turned to Asakura Ye and said, I understand. Leave this to me. Brother Ye, you only need to take good care of Miss Anna. At the same time, Zhu Chen, who was picking up the last bottle of water from the vending machine, seemed to notice something and frowned slightly. He looked back in the direction he had come from, muttering to himself, it's appeared. Anna screamed in agony, it's coming out, it's inside me. Dark and filthy witch power surged from her body and condensed on the horned demon. The great demon, empowered by boundless power, immediately began to seize and devour the surrounding lesser demons. The demon is eating other demons, and it's grown huge. Is he absorbing it? There's so much soul power filled with hatred. Guzong also showed a solemn expression. As expected of being a neighbor of Ling Shan and Kong Shan, souls flock here in an endless stream. And what's most terrifying is the unfathomable witch power within this girl's body, enough to give birth to this demon. Guzong said, glancing at the in agony Anna one last time. Such a super-spiritual being can indeed be called a great demon. Before Guzong appeared a 7-jung-tall super-spiritual ghost, laughing wildly. The magical power that has sustained us for 1,000 years will likely be exhausted today. Guzong murmured, farewell, Fear Mountain. The demon suddenly moved, thrusting a finger at Guzong, who was blasted away before he could even react. But Guzong was not afraid at all and leaped forward again. It's Soul's number 1080, this is truly troublesome. It seems we have no choice but to use that move. In Guzong's hand, the pipe suddenly transformed into a giant katana, which he slashed at the great demon. Super Divination Strategy. Witchcraft Spirit Control Society. The great demon's body, as solid as a rock, had its right arm severed by his single strike. However, despite the pain, the great demon ignored the severed arm and punched Guzong. Wow, amazing! This time, the stock sect is able to stand up to the great demon. Asakura Ye exclaimed with delight. No. Anna frowned. I can feel the power in that cat gradually draining away. If this continues, it will disappear. What? Yoh Asakura's smile froze, and his face darkened. As if it had gained sentience, the ghost punched Guzong away and then grabbed Anna, revealing a sinister smile. You cunning monster! Is this your purpose? Ha ha ha! The big demon grabbed Anna in his hand. Not bad, that wretched cat demon, it actually cut off my arm. It really hurts. Yoh Asakura was knocked to the ground by the aftershock, looking surprised, the demon can actually speak. Release Anna! Yoh Asakura roared at the big demon. Don't worry, I still need this little girl's help. The big ghost's eyes were filled with greed as he looked at Anna. What are you talking about? What do I have to do with you? Anna asked, frowning as his grip on her arm hurt a little. Oh no! Don't be so heartless. I was born from you, Mom. Chapter 12. The snow was falling heavily, and the moonlight reflected off the snowflakes, making them appear exceptionally bright. Anna's pupils contracted slightly as she heard the ghost continue, "That's right, I am your filthy heart, a combination of resentment, jealousy, and lust." Ha 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 ha. Souls continued to gather because of Anna's inner darkness, but the great demon still showed dissatisfaction. This is far from enough. Anna was now completely captivated by the ghost, and the large ghost grabbed her and ran away. Am I too late? When Zhu Chen appeared with the drinks, the place was already a mess. He sensed the abnormality in Anna's magical power and rushed back, but he was still a step too late. The great demon has taken Anna to Mount Ozari. Gu Zong struggled to his feet, his tone grave. Mount Ozaria is a place where souls gather. This fellow went there to absorb all the souls in Mount Ozaria. This is the one thing we must absolutely not let him succeed in. Absorbing souls will inevitably deplete Miss Anna's magical power. If he continues to absorb them, it will inevitably lead to a consequence. That was Miss Anna, who died here in the snowy mountains after exhausting her magical powers. Damn it! Yoh Asakura scrambled to his feet and suddenly chased after the direction the giant demon had gone. Brother Yat, please wait. At this moment, the mountain is blocked by heavy snow and is no longer accessible to humans. Please entrust this journey to me. What do you mean, leave it to you? I don't want you to disappear. Brother Yat. Gu Zong's face showed considerable emotion, but he did not agree. Master Gu, you should rest here. Leave this matter to me. Yoh Asakura continued running, heading towards Mount Ozari. A trace of self-reproach appeared on Zhu Chen's face. If he had rushed over immediately upon noticing the abnormality, this tragedy probably wouldn't have happened. He stood in front of Asakura Yoh and took her arm. The fault lies with me. If I hadn't assured Miss Anna, this wouldn't have caused such a great disaster. I'll take care of it. After saying that, Zhu Chen tapped his toes and appeared dozens of meters away in the next moment. Yoh Asakura showed a hint of shock, but felt slightly relieved. Although the great demon is terrifying, Zhu Chenjun is no weakling either. However, I'm going to. Yoh Asakura made up his mind and continued to follow. Unfortunately, he was too slow, and soon Zhu Chen had disappeared from sight. Fear Mountain, a temple for worship. The giant demon gripped his newly grown right arm tightly, a tremendous force coursing through his body. This feeling is really good. He paused for a moment, then quickly turned his head to look. A calm-looking young man was staring at him coldly. In his gaze, it seemed he was not looking at a ferocious demon, but rather at an ant. The ghost's face immediately darkened. Although he didn't know where this kid had come from, he couldn't stand the contempt a mere teenager showed him. Where is Anna? The newcomer was Zhu Chen, who asked coldly, without a trace of emotion. So he's that girl's companion. He's got some nerve. The giant demon revealed a cruel smile. My power has been upgraded, I didn't expect you to still dare to chase after me. Zhu Chen's face grew increasingly cold as he indifferently repeated, answer me, where is Anna? Don't test my patience. The big ghost suddenly laughed, and Zhu Chen's indifferent gaze was a joke in his eyes. He even waved his hands in cooperation, saying, don't look at me with such a scary look, it's really frightening. I think she's still alive. What do you mean? Zhu Chen's gaze sharpened. Even though he hadn't yet merged with the spirit of the white-bearded man, he still exuded an aura of authority without being angry. As you can see, I've leveled up. I've used that girl to gather countless souls. Unexpectedly, no matter how many souls I absorbed, her witch power did not decrease. I was almost bursting with food, and then that girl left, trembling. A hint of heartache flashed in Zhu Chen's eyes. Immediately, an endless surge of anger welled up in his heart, and an inexplicable aura quietly rose up. The big ghost's smile suddenly froze as it sensed an incredible aura emanating from Zhu Chen. Under that aura, I felt like an ant, utterly vulnerable. He didn't even dare to look Zhu Chen in the eye, as if he looked at him for even a second, he would lose all will to resist. No. How could that be? I am a great demon who has devoured thousands of souls, the most yin and evil being in the world. How could I possibly be afraid of a mere brat? That must be an illusion. Just as the big ghost was about to muster the courage to look Zhu Chen in the eye. Without a sound, Anna suddenly appeared from the side, the soft expression that had briefly appeared on her face returning to its icy state. The first is the father, the second is the mother, and the third is the mysterious body of the homeland. Her expression was cold and blank, as if she were already weary of the world. Anna. When Zhu Chen saw Anna, his cold and domineering expression softened considerably. Unbeknownst to him, this girl had already occupied a significant place in his heart. The big ghost felt the oppressive feeling suddenly disappear and couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. It was just an illusion, after all. How could a mere brat scare me? Shut up! Anna's expression turned crazed and shrill. It's infuriating that one after another comes to our door, thinking they're all something special. A side effect of excessive consumption of witch power. Zhu Chen frowned. He could tell that Anna was not behaving normally at the moment. It's fortunate that he's still able to stay conscious, though. Anna's face contorted with rage as she picked up a stone from the ground and hurled it at Zhu Chen. Shut up! You damned Zhu Chen, what's so lucky about that? How could you possibly understand my pain? Anna screamed, and 2 streams of tears had already flowed down her beautiful face. The pain of being abandoned, the pain of hating others, and the pain of being hated. Snap! Zhu Chen neither dodged nor avoided the stone, which still struck his forehead, causing a stream of blood to flow down his face. He merely showed a look of heartache, quietly watching the hysterical Anna. Enough, Anna! Zhu Chen suddenly shouted, you haven't been abandoned. I didn't abandon you. However, Anna was no longer listening. She yelled at Zhu Chen again, shut up! You might as well die. And you, she roared, pointing at the giant demon, how long are you going to keep grinning like that? Since you're a spirit born of me, then kill him right now. The big ghost's smile vanished abruptly, he still wanted to continue using Anna to obtain more and more powerful souls. Yes, Mom! Suddenly, the giant demon revealed a cruel smile and pounced on Zhu Chen. Chapter 13. Zhu Chen frowned, Anna's condition made him quite uneasy. He leaped lightly, avoiding the giant demon's attack. Anna! Have you forgotten what I told you before? If fate is destined to be a tragedy, then break free from fate and take control of your own life. Ghosts are not scary, what's scary is your own willing descent into depravity. If you are in darkness and you don't believe in the light, you will never escape the abyss of darkness. Anna! Nothing is immutable. As the giant demon lunged forward once more, its blood-red fangs seemingly about to touch him, Zhu Chen remained unfazed. I will protect you, Anna. Beep. Anna's tears fell onto the snow, her delicate body trembling slightly as she gradually calmed down from her hysteria. How can fate be changed? You can't even deal with a great demon, so how could you possibly protect me or fight against fate? Anna said with a sob in her voice. She really wanted to believe Zhu Chen, but the ghost in front of her was not so easy to deal with. He had no choice but to sink into the abyss of darkness. Is that so? Zhu Chen's expression calmed down as he watched the giant ghost attack again with indifference. In that case, Anna, I will prove to you that fate is not immutable. Whitebeard Newgate, Soul Mode. Possession and Fusion. Zhu Chen raised the white-bearded spirit body high and smashed it against his own chest. Instantly, an invisible domineering aura spread out. The ghost suddenly felt uneasy and dared not rush forward again. It sensed a deadly threat from Zhu Chen's thin body. Humph! All you do is play tricks. I am a peerless demon, how could I be afraid of a little devil? The great demon, resentful of its retreat, charged forward once more. I will protect you, Anna. If fate is a shackle binding you, then I will help you shatter it all. Anna felt a shiver run through her body, and the deepest softness in her heart was quietly touched. Her tears continued to flow, but they were different from before. The tears I shed before were tears of despair and helplessness, but now they are tears of being touched. The giant demon grinned arrogantly, "You brat, how dare you speak so arrogantly in front of me? I will tear you to shreds, you little brat, and turn you into nourishment for my soul, ha 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 ha." Zhu Chen merely glanced at him coldly, "Go to hell. Arrogant, ignorant, filthy, and ugly thing." After saying that, he threw a punch. "Let it shatter." The big ghost's eyes showed shock, he felt as if he were imprisoned and unable to move at all. It was filled with a tearing sensation all over its body, and only had time to let out a shrill cry before it shattered and vanished into nothingness along with the surrounding air. The space shattered with a deafening roar, its reflection etched into Anna's pupils. She stared blankly at Zhu Chen's resolute and composed expression, as if she saw light in it. However, a sense of resentment quietly arose on the snow. "Ha ha ha ha." The dissipated demon reformed from the other side, laughing wildly. "Kid, didn't expect that, did you? This old man is immortal." Although he was a little weak, as long as Anna's fear did not completely dissipate, countless spirits would gather around him. The great demon can draw power from souls, ensuring an endless cycle of life and death. "Is that so? Since you're still not leaving, then I'll beat you until you're reduced to ashes." An ant can be reborn 100 times, but it is still just an ant. I will make you regret being born into this world, for the ugliness born from Anna's inner vulnerability. Killing you once is not enough to avenge Anna. Then, Zhu Chen smiled gently at Anna and said, "Don't be afraid, Anna. As long as I'm here, the ghosts won't be able to harm you in the slightest." Anna covered her mouth with both hands, already sobbing uncontrollably. "Why are my legs disappearing?" Just as the big ghost was about to charge, he suddenly fell to the ground. He looked at Anna and said, "Is this little girl about to open her heart again?" Anna couldn't stop the tears from falling from her eyes. "Why did you come to save me like this? I hate humans, I despise them to the core, I am so filthy." "Hey! What are you doing, Mom? How can you be swayed by such a small thing?" The big ghost was terrified and wanted to provoke Anna again. "Have you forgotten all the pain you endured in the past? Quickly recall that pain, that fear, that despair." Anna gave the big ghost a cold look. "How could I forget? I hate this world more than anyone else. But compared to this hatred, I have fallen in love with this man even more." She looked at Zhu Chen tenderly, her eyes filled with a tenderness she had never seen before. "You're the one who should disappear, you big devil." The giant demon, seemingly driven mad, howled pitifully, "What are you talking about, mother? You were the one who brought me into this world. Having shown me all the ugliness and suffering in the world, are you going to abandon me and make me disappear? Since that's the case, then I'll kill you and we'll go together." The giant demon suddenly charged at Anna, severing its own right hand and thrusting it at her. 5 evil, terrifying creatures appeared on the 5 fingers. "Come with me, let us take this filthy despair and be condemned to eternal hell." Anna. Kuzumi and Yoh Asakura finally arrived. Seeing Anna about to be trapped in the demon's hand, Yoh Asakura was terrified. He rushed over to help, but was stopped by Munko. "Are you completely ignoring me?" Before anyone knew it, Zhu Chen had appeared on Anna. Anna, standing behind him, smiled gently. She wasn't panicked in the face of the ghost, as if she already knew someone would come to protect her. "You brat! I'm going to drag you down to hell with me." "A fool's dream." Zhu Chen remained indifferent and unmoved. He stretched out his right hand and made a grasping motion in the air. The ghost froze instantly, enveloped by an overwhelming aura that rendered it unable to move. That feeling again, who exactly is this brat? A desperate roar erupted in its heart, but it was nothing but powerless rage. Armament Haki, shatter this world. The giant demon sealed itself off along with the surrounding space, and then, as if melting away, vanished into thin air. It turned into dust and dissipated with the wind and snow. Come to ashes, you filthy ghost! The great ghost has disappeared, a solemn expression appeared on Gu Zong's face. This was the first time it had directly confronted Zhu Chen. Asakura Yoh's face was blank. Was this the reason that Gu Zong was stopping me from taking action? Indeed, with Zhu Chen around, this ghost couldn't cause any trouble at all. Chapter 14. Vanished into thin air. Asakura Yoh muttered to himself, even the great demon that Gu Zong couldn't match has vanished without a trace. Zhu Chen's strength is simply unfathomable. Gu Zong also breathed a sigh of relief. With the great ghost killed and destroyed by Zhu Chen, he no longer needed to use the witch power that had been preserved for thousands of years. In a way, this boy had saved his life. However, it was only because the girl opened her heart and erased her anger and hatred that she was able to completely destroy the great demon. Gu Zong looked at Anna with a strange expression. He knew that this girl had already come out of her shell. Zhu Chen. Anna's tear stains hadn't faded when she threw herself into Zhu Chen's arms, causing Gu Zong's expression to freeze in shock. Yoh Asakura's mouth dropped open, a strange look appearing in his eyes. Anna was still his fiancée candidate. As he watched her fall into someone else's arms, Yoh Asakura felt a surge of embarrassment. However, Zhu Chen is indeed very strong, at least many times stronger than I am now. Anna's choice of Zhu Chen was perfectly reasonable. With Zhu Chen protecting Anna, no matter what ghosts Anna attracts in the future, Zhu Chen can easily deal with them. As for himself, facing the great demon, he had no means to protect Anna except for a surge of courage. In this light, Zhu Chen seems to be the perfect match for Anna. Zhu Chen. Anna cried out in Zhu Chen's arms, her tears gradually soaking his chest. Feeling the warmth in his arms, Zhu Chen felt a surge of unprecedented emotion. I've been in this world for 3 years, and during those 3 years it feels like I've been drifting and wandering, like a piece of duckweed. Yet, holding Anna in his arms at this moment, he felt as if he had found a place of belonging in this world, a place where he could finally take root. This feeling seems pretty good. Zhu Chen thought to himself, and unconsciously hugged Anna in his arms even tighter. Zhu Chen, are you willing to protect me for the rest of your life? Zhu Chen nodded, her tone gentle yet unwavering, I do. This was not only what he said to Anna, but also a vow he made to himself. Anna smiled gently, feeling a warmth she had never experienced before in this embrace. Thump. As the New Year's bell rang, Zhu Chen looked at the Buddha statues inside the temple and couldn't help but think of what Brother Ye had said on the way there. New Year's worship and prayers to the gods are not for seeking divine protection, but to make a vow to oneself for the new year and to restrain oneself to fulfill that vow. So, I'm willing. Zhu Chen silently vowed in his heart once again. What a unique New Year's shrine visit! Yoh Asakura exclaimed. The sound of bells echoed across the snow, as if washing away the weariness and sorrow of the past year, making people yearn for a new life. Zhu Chen, Anna, may you both have a wonderful new beginning, just like this new year. Gu Zong looked at the two who were embracing each other and were reluctant to separate, and then looked at Asakura Yoh who was slumped to the side. I don't know why he had such a blessing smile on his face. Human emotions are truly complex and perplexing. Fortunately, everything has ultimately come to a happy ending and a new beginning. Farewell, Asamori Mountain. Kyuzumi, pulling the grinning Asakura Yoh along, turned and left, leaving behind a casual remark, Yoh and I are heading back to the Shrine Maidens Club first. Zhu Chen-kun and Miss Anna, you two continue. Anna then woke up with a start and realized that there was a person and a cat watching her. She broke free from Zhu Chen's embrace, and he looked at her with a half-smile, making her blush. Anna was completely focused on Zhu Chen and had completely ignored Guzong and Asakura Yoh. Seeing that Yoh Asakura was also present, she felt a little awkward, knowing that Yoh had come to Osurozen for a reason. However, in his pursuit of true love, he had no choice but to disappoint yet. After all, this is a major life event and should not be taken lightly. Let's go back together, Anna whispered. When facing Zhu Chen, her cold and indifferent expression had long since disappeared. Instead, she exuded a shy charm unique to young girls. The most beautiful sight in the world is the blush on a young girl's pretty face. Okay. Zhu Chen knew that Anna was shy at the moment, so he took her hand and followed behind Guzong and Yet. When I got home, Bob was performing energetically on TV. The three continued watching TV, but Guzong quietly went out. As Anna walked back, she appeared more natural, but she was different from before. She nestled close to Zhu Chen, and the two seemed to merge into one. The singing on TV did nothing to attract her, instead, she couldn't take her eyes off Zhu Chen, who was beside her. The heart of this seemingly cold girl is filled with unparalleled passion. Although Yoh Asakura was listening to her favorite songs, she couldn't feel comfortable. Although he had come to terms with Anna's choice, he inexplicably felt that he was very full. I haven't even bought the takoyaki I was supposed to visit for the new year, how come I'm already full? Zhu Chen-kun, why don't you become my older brother? Asakura Yoh hesitated for a long time before saying to Zhu Chen. This was a thought he had long had in mind. After all, Zhu Chen was too amazing, and he had captured the hearts of young girls so easily. Moreover, Zhu Chen saved him several times, which earned his deep respect. Zhu Chen was slightly taken aback, he had never considered recruiting a subordinate. However, Asakura Yoh really suited his taste, and Zhu Chen laughed and said, how about we become sworn brothers and call each other brothers? A sworn brotherhood like in the Three Kingdoms? I'll do it. Yoh Asakura's eyes were filled with longing. Guzong went up to the second floor and found Asakura Kino praying silently. Munai-san, a great demon appeared, but it wasn't my turn to make a move, it was killed by Zhu Chen-jun. What an interesting young man. Even the great demon is no match for him. Kino Asakura stopped chanting, her expression of surprise visible behind her sunglasses. However, Anna, can start preparing new fiancé candidates for brother yet? Guzong hesitated for a moment before continuing. Anna chose Zhu Chen-jun. Is that so? Kino Asakura wasn't surprised either. Zhu Chen-kun is indeed outstanding, and he is a good match for Anna. These are the remaining mediums after the great demon dissipated, a 1080 bead rosary. Kyuzumi gave the collected rosary to Kanami. Since Anna has made her choice, we, as her family, reluctantly did not leave her any gifts. I will make these prayer beads into 1080 and give them to Anna. Kanami put away her prayer beads and went downstairs. She overheard Zhu Chen and Asakura Yoru seemingly swearing an oath of brotherhood. Big brother. Second brother. Anna, meanwhile, gazed tenderly at Zhu Chen from the side. Everything seems so wonderful. Hello, is this Yeming? You can start preparing to choose a new fiancé for Yet. However, Ye has found a good older brother. Kanami's kind voice made a phone call to Asakura Yomei. Chapter 15. Although there's no peach garden, swearing brotherhood in the snow has its own unique charm. Asakura Yoh said with a smile. He and Zhu Chen became sworn brothers according to Hyuxia customs, and in that instant, the last trace of discomfort in his heart was completely relieved. Since Anna likes Zhu Chen, why should he force her? Zhu Chen nodded, he could sense Asakura Yoh's sincere feelings. Having made a sworn brother and having Anna confess her feelings for him, Zhu Chen felt that the Shaman King world wasn't so lonely and boring after all. With Anna and Yoh Asakura as his younger brothers, Things seem to have changed? Anna continued watching TV in her room, appearing rather aloof. After the two became sworn brothers, she seemed oblivious to it, focusing instead on the songs by Bob the Singer playing on television. Zhu Chen also returned to the house to keep Anna company, while Asakura Yoh seemed to have been spurred on by Zhu Chen and actually took the initiative to ask the sect for guidance on cultivation. If his older brother is so capable, how can he hold him back? He won't be long before he goes back to Izumo. When he does, Yeming will probably see a completely different Asakura yet. After all, it's quite rare to find someone like Yoh Asakura who wants to start training on his own initiative. He finally understood that the most crucial thing for living the carefree life he dreamed of was having strong capabilities. Meanwhile, Kino hung up the phone with Asakura Yomei. Yeming Yuan was at his ancestral home in Chuiyun when he was filled with emotion. "Father, is that mother on the phone?" A burly, strong man walked out of the house, his expression serious and meticulous. Asakura Yomei nodded, his short stature revealing a hint of competence. "It's Kanahisa, that's right, it's Kino calling from Aomori." "Oh? Is there any news about yet?" Although Asakura Mikahisa looked very serious and solemn. But Yoh Asakura was, after all, his son, and he cared about him very much. Asakura Yomei nodded, a serious expression appearing on his face. "Ya met an older brother in Aomori." "Big brother? Wasn't that kid going to Aomori's Ozaria mountain to meet his fiancée candidate Anna? How did he end up meeting a big brother?" Asakura Mikahisa was somewhat surprised. "This is outrageous. Doesn't he know the mission of our Asakura family? How could he associate with such scoundrels?" In the end, Mikahisa Asakura became somewhat angry. Asakura Yomei shook his head. "Kanji, you need to be more composed. Kino also knows about Yi's acquaintance with the elder brother, and she approves of it. Moreover, Munai said that Yi's older brother, that guy named Zhu Chen, is a rather remarkable psychic. She saw that person's shadow in Zhu Chen. Mother means Asakura Yoh." Asakura Mikahisa's expression immediately turned serious. Yeming nodded, his eyes revealing an unprecedented heaviness. How Asakura, just the name alone almost suffocated the Asakura family. This guy named Zhu Chen easily killed the giant ghost formed from 1080 souls. His combat power is quite terrifying. "Is that so?" A strange look appeared in Asakura Mikahisa's eyes. "If it is such a person, befriending Ye would be beneficial to our family." Asakura Yomei nodded in agreement, expressing the same sentiment. "After all, to defeat that person, we must gather all the forces that can be used. We must not be careless in the slightest. However, I am quite interested in such a powerful individual and would like to have a chance to meet him." Mikahisa Asakura revealed a hint of interest. He was in his prime, at the peak of his magical power. Encountering such a powerful psychic, it's hard not to feel a little itchy to try your hand at it. "What are you talking about?" Asakura Yeming glared at him. "This is your son's sworn brother. How do you think you can have a go at him?" "Haha, that's true. However, it's not entirely without a chance. Since he is Yi's sworn brother, we can have Ye take him back to Izumo and treat him to a meal. That is the way the Asakura family treats guests. At that time, you can try whatever you want." Mikahisa Asakura nodded excitedly. "Oh, right, Muna also mentioned something else. We can start looking for a new fiancé candidate for Ye." "Really? Anna, that girl, isn't suitable for Ye anymore. It's said that Anna has fallen for Zhu Chen, and there's nothing we can do about it. On the other side of Japan lies Nagaya, Aichi Prefecture." A man with long, dark burgundy hair and black eyes smiled slightly. Upon closer inspection, he looked exactly like Ye. How Asakura, Yoh's twin brother, also known as How Asakura. A white cloak wrapped around his body, with a loose, irregular red canvas belt around his waist. He wore huge brown gloves on both hands, as if suppressing the restless witch power within him. At this moment, a wicked smile appeared on his lips, full of arrogance and self-importance. It seems they've detected a rather remarkable soul. Is it Yet? It shouldn't be. At this moment, Yet is probably not much different from a baby who has just crawled out of its swaddling clothes. In Aomori? It seems he's with Yet, and that old woman Yoh Asakura is there too. And is this, the little kitten from 1,000 years ago? I really hope it will be a powerful opponent. It would be quite interesting to devour such a soul. Ha 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 ha. Behind Asakura Hao was a group of his underlings, all of whom were powerful psychics he had gathered from all over the world. To become the Shaman King, personal strength is only one factor. Without the support of a powerful force, one cannot go very far. Next stop, let's meet this mysterious and powerful psychic. If they are willing to submit, we can still gain a great ally. If you are unwilling, my fire spirit has not devoured such a high-quality soul for a long time. Hopefully, your choice will be a little more interesting. Don't let me leave disappointed. Yoh Asakura took the lead, followed by his men. With Lord Ye personally taking action, he will surely sweep away all spirit mediums. They will never understand how powerful Lord Ye is. Behind him, a female psychic with eyes sparkling with starlight revealed her undisguised admiration for him. Most of the shamans subdued by Yoh Asakura have become his biggest fans. Yoh Asakura is the reincarnation of a psychic from 1,000 years ago, and his mind is incredibly resolute. A faint smile appeared on his lips. He was not swayed by the flattery. Regardless of his past or present life, he possesses the divine ability of spiritual vision, and knows everything about the hearts of people in the world. No one could deceive him, he was already used to such flattery. Chapter 16. Zhu Chen stayed in Aomori for a week before preparing to leave. If he hadn't met Anna and Yoh Asakura, he probably would have been heading to his next destination a week ago. Anna has spent most of the week in her cabin. Although she and Zhu Chen opened their hearts to each other, because of her spiritual vision, she was able to read other people's minds. It is easy to come into contact with the baseness and darkness of the world, and in this situation, it is most likely to attract ghosts. To avoid causing trouble for everyone, she continued to stay home as much as possible, just like always. However, the difference this week was that Zhu Chen was with her, so she didn't feel lonely. Big brother, if you leave Aomori, where do you plan to go next? Yoh Asakura asked curiously. Even Anna, who was watching TV nonchalantly, was actually listening intently. Zhu Chen also said somewhat blankly, I'm just doing this for cultivation. I don't have a specific next destination. I'll just go with the flow. Training. Yoh Asakura looked longingly at the idea, as he also wanted a training experience that felt like a vacation. Unfortunately, his cultivation still requires his grandfather's supervision and guidance. He doesn't yet have the ability to handle things on his own. Anna, too, had to stay in Aomori and receive instruction from Yoh Asakura. Since you haven't decided where to go, why don't you come back to Izumo with me? Yoh Asakura suddenly said. Izumo. Zhu Chen thought to himself, realizing that he had indeed never been to Izumo. Izumo is a place where shamans gather, and it is home to the Asakura family, a large family of shamans. It would be good to go and see for yourself. So Zhu Chen nodded, then let's set the next destination as Izumo. Nice. Yoh Asakura laughed excitedly. Izumo has absolutely delicious takoyaki and sushi. Big brother will be in for a treat. Izumo. Anna's gaze dimmed as she looked at the television, and she murmured softly, unheard by anyone. After Zhu Chenjun leaves, will I have to go back to the way I was before, spending all day alone in my room? The snow seems even colder now. If love between two people is meant to last, why should they be together every day and night? Anna, I will come back to find you. Zhu Chen noticed that Anna was in a bad mood and felt down, so he went over and touched her hair. Is this an ancient Hyuxia poem? It sounds so enviable, Anna said softly. Yoh Asakura felt it was inappropriate for him to stay there, so he quietly left, leaving the two of them alone in their own private world. The water flows on and time never stops. Even though Anna was extremely reluctant, the next day still came. Let's go. Zhu Chen looked back at Anna's cottage, but no one came out. He gave a wry smile, then quickly composed himself. Anna's perception is extraordinary, yet she is more sensitive and vulnerable than anyone else, Yoh Asakura said calmly as she came out to see her off. However, when she is able to overcome all of this, she will gain true strength that will not be swayed by anything. Yeah, this is for you. Just before boarding the train, Yoh Asakura handed over a pink envelope. What is this? Could it be New Year's money? Asakura Yoh took it with a puzzled look, and was in a hurry to get on the bus without looking at it much. After the two settled down in the car, he took out the envelope. Who gave you the pink letter, little brother? Zhu Chen asked curiously. I don't know either, what is this? Yoh Asakura asked, puzzled. Why don't you open it and take a look? A clear, melodious female voice rang out. How about we do it this way? Asakura Yoh answered subconsciously, then jumped in surprise. Even Zhu Chen was somewhat astonished. Anna was wearing a pink top and a black skirt that revealed her long, slender legs. She carried a small handbag with her fair and delicate hands. Anna! Yoh Asakura exclaimed in surprise. Smack! In a daze, he was already slumped on his seat, with a red slap mark on his face. Keep it down, shouting like that in the car is disturbing other people. Anna, what are you doing in the car? Zhu Chen asked curiously. Yoh Asakura nodded in agreement. And what I care about even more is that you're dressed like this. I've never seen you dressed like this before. And why am I the one who gets beaten up again? Anna sat down next to Zhu Chen, her eyes filled with tenderness as she looked at him. I overcame it. Because of Zhu Chen, the ghost was defeated. I defeated the ghost that I had always felt helpless against. So I also began to believe that the shackles of fate can be broken and that one's life is solely in one's own hands. I don't want to go through those painful things again, and it has nothing to do with whether I have the ability or not. Finally, Anna's gaze hardened. I want to become stronger. Is that so? That's good. Yoh Asakura sat awkwardly, afraid that he might accidentally get slapped again. As this thought flashed through his mind, Yoh Asakura couldn't help but glance at Zhu Chen, thinking to himself, I wonder how much suffering Zhu Chen-kun will have to endure in the future. However, Zhu Chen had a faint smile on his face, which was completely different from Asakura Yoh's bitter face. So, Zhu Chen-jun, I've come to thank you. Thank you. As Anna finished speaking, a blush rose to her cheeks, like a touch of rouge on a piece of white, tender jade. I will get off at the next stop. A doting smile appeared on Zhu Chen's face as he thought to himself, Anna's stubbornness is just so incredibly cute. Instantly, Anna's face flushed even more, like a red apple. Asakura Yoh sat opposite him, a knowing look on her face. It seemed that Anna had read her brother's mind again. I wonder if Anna will slap her older brother next.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं फिल्मोरा है ना।